GameKase.
Hello, and welcome to GameKase. I'm your host, Feltzer, also known as LeafFan89 on YouTube, and with me is my co-host,
Kool-Aid Man.
Yeah, Kool-Aid Man. Anyway, this is episode 6.
Yep, episode 6.
The second episode that we're going to be having on the YouTube channel, and the 6th episode that will be up available as a podcast on iTunes. The description for that will be in the link to that will be in the video description. And we're also proud to announce we have one more hardware upgrade in our arsenal. Now, at any time we can say Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
A peck of pickled peppers?
That's a measurement of pickled peppers. A peck.
You mean a pack or a peck?
Pretty sure it's a peck. Anyway, we have pop filters. So,
hooray!
there's plenty of people on YouTube that should have pop filters that don't.
Yeah.
It's pretty annoying, to be honest. Especially if you have a sub in your audio setup. It's because anytime someone goes, it's like an explosion. Explosion!
Well, now we're not one of those people.
Exactly. And also, we're going to try to turn up the levels a little bit so that you don't have to crank your volume to hear us. We had some complaints about that last time.
Yeah, just trying to make all our listeners happy.
Obviously, we're going to have some audio issues the first time we use
New microphones.
brand new microphones. So you can't expect perfection right away, but
we'll get it.
We'll get there. All right. We're going to tie up some loose ends from the last podcast and also introduce some new topics. The first topic is going to be some more Diablo 3. A lot of our listeners last time were really interested in the Diablo 3 portion of the podcast, which obviously was pretty much the entire thing, but we did post it on DiabloFans.com, the forums, and the NoobTube forums. And most of the people that came to listen to it that weren't already subscribed to us were looking for Diablo 3 information. So we're going to keep with that. Starting with Diablo 3, I'm going to talk about the beta. Diablo 3 beta. Now, I have a video on my channel if you want to go check that out. It's basically a prediction of when we should see the Diablo 3 beta based on their internal deadline for release. But the issue I wanted to address was piracy with the Diablo 3 beta.
Yeah, that actually came up in a forum I was talking about. How you can actually just download the single player beta as you would have the StarCraft 2.
Exactly. Because I don't know if anybody here was actually in the StarCraft 2 beta, but if you weren't and you were interested in it, any torrent site that you would use to search, you'd be able to find it in a couple minutes. It was really, really easy. Now, the crappy thing about that was you couldn't play on Battle.net, obviously. And that's a pretty big deal with an RTS like StarCraft. But to be honest, Diablo 3, who really cares?
No, I don't. Honestly, if I think most people are playing Diablo 3 or Diablo in general for the single player. And then when you hop on later, it's with your friends just to enjoy what you experienced alone.
It really is a single player game with a multiplayer aspect.
Exactly.
It's just a bunch of different people enjoying a single player aspect together. Yeah, it's if that makes any sense.
It's like playing Halo with your buddies after you beat the campaign yourself.
Yeah, very similar. Extremely similar. I would even argue that it's more single player oriented. I knew a lot of people back in the day playing Diablo 2 that just didn't play online. It's an action RPG, right? So generally those aren't online anyway. So
yeah, it depends how bored you are with yourself and how much grinding you like to do alone.
Yeah, exactly. But the question that this kind of created for me was, what will be the format of the beta? Do you think it's just going to be the game with obviously, no boss games?
No, I think it'll be like a chapter. It'll be like you can play the chapter through.
Just like Act 1?
Like Act 1. You know what? Like 2 or 3 acts of a full...
Really?
I think it'll be 2 or 3 acts, like because it was broken up. Acts were in a chapter, right? And then you went to the different chapters.
No, it was acts. There was Act 1, 2, 3, 4, expansion, introduce Act 5.
Okay, then
there was different missions.
Oh, there was different missions. So boss.
Yeah.
Okay, I think there'll be like 2 or 3 missions within one act, and then they'll give you the online component of that. So they need to test out their servers a little bit, see how the game reacts with people playing on it, and it'll go from there.
I think that they might make this really, really limited. I think that it'll be
Well, like one boss and that's it.
yeah.
Could. I
And
guess.
then maybe just some of the arena.
Well, like, what did they do with StarCraft? Wasn't it
StarCraft
just
was
multiplayer?
completely full game multiplayer.
They could do that. They might just completely multiplayer it.
Well, see, the thing is,
'Cause-
if they open it up like that, then there's going to be a lot of spoilers, right?
Yeah, if they open it in the sense that they're going to have people playing the storyline, yeah, the game's already partially leaked. But if they do it in the sense of just testing out the servers with the multiplayer aspect,
So just keep people contained in one area and not even really give them any storyline.
yeah, they can't really do that.
Exactly. It has to be. They pretty much have to spoil it for you. At least
Well,
Act 1.
Not all of Act 1. A part of it.
Well, I
like-
think what they could do is give you Act 1, just not give you any of the boss names, and they're going to have to spoil the storyline. I don't see how they can get around that. I mean, they have to give you a beta. How are they supposed to
I don't know. I guess maybe we should look back how they did Diablo 2 beta, if they did one at all.
That'd be interesting. That was sort of before my time. I mean, played
Yeah,
Diablo
me
2
too.
on release, but I was a dumbass little kid. So
Yeah, gaming was like all gaming was time of enjoyment, not just like a hobby.
yeah, no, it's
It's funny how when you're a little kid, like a game is just like a simplistic thing, but as you grow older, it kind of becomes like a hobby to be a gamer because you have multiple consoles, a good computer keeping up to date, and turns
Yeah.
into something.
I remember being a
special.
little kid and all the older guys that have the mentality that we do now getting pissed off at me because I was a stupid little kid.
That actually brings me back the mindset of when I first got Xbox Live, and like 30-year-old men were telling me to shut up, and I'd be like, "No, you shut up. You're
Yeah.
gay.
You're
Get a real
you're
life.
homo,
You're like
sir.
you're like 20 or 30. Why are you playing video games? Go spend time with your family, loser."
Sir, please stop yelling at me, sir. Xbox Live is like the biggest troll fest ever.
Not anymore. Everyone's in party chat, so it's like
Yeah,
cricket. That's it.
I would kill for that on PSN though.
Really?
Why the hell don't they implement that?
All I get on PSN is people playing music. I'll like hop into like a server and then I
Yeah.
hear like Chris Brown in the background or like Lil Wayne, and I'm like, are you fucking serious?
Yeah, for some people, they think they need to broadcast their music to other people.
Yeah.
I like Lil Wayne, so you're gonna listen to this shit.
Like you can't even broadcast our music. You just be hearing.
Yeah, my
Like
sub
big
can't get
farting
picked up
noises.
even by the amazing microphone that I do have. Any hoozle.
Back on track.
So yeah, beta piracy. It's gonna happen. People are gonna put up the beta as a torrent. And
Yeah, it's like it's inevitable. Like I just read today on Engadget that a very early version of Windows 8 is already leaked.
yeah,
You
I
can
read that
download
too.
it.
Yeah,
I'm like, are you serious? And it looks there's not going to be any big upgrades from Windows 7, and you're not going to get any support. So installing it's useless.
there's really two schools of thought on that kind of thing, and it doesn't really apply to Windows because who cares if Windows gets leaked? I mean, everyone wants
It's
to see
everyday,
Windows.
like-
Yeah,
Honestly,
but with a game like Diablo 3 that's so storyline oriented, there's people that have been waiting for this game forever, and
Yeah,
they
well,
really,
how long has
really
it been
don't
now?
want. Was it 12 years?
12. I thought it was 11, but 12 just
Whatever. It doesn't even
past
matter.
5. You're shitting the bed for how bad you want it.
And it doesn't even matter how long it's been. It's been too long. But the facts are, there's a large group of people that don't want to have the storyline spoiled for them.
Oh no, honestly, I wouldn't want the storyline spoiled for me. It's not like, okay, you get the beta for 3 weeks now, and then you got to wait another 5 months to play it.
No, I know.
That'd be even worse.
Yeah. And honestly, they keep saying 6-month beta, and StarCraft 2 was 5 months and a little bit. How the hell
That's how
is it
long
gonna,
their betas are.
Yeah,
That's
but
a long beta period.
how is it going to take 6 months to beta Diablo 3 when StarCraft 2 took 5.5 months?
I
How
don't
does that
know.
make any sense
Especially
at all?
unless you're giving them the whole game to beta.
That's what I'm saying. If a beta is
No,
going to
but
take
that's-
6 months,
That's why in my mentality, that's only gonna be like a month-long beta. They can see what happened, get the result of what happened with the gameplay, and then send it back to HQ and fix what they need to fix.
and especially with Blizzard, you know they're going to have the servers. That's not going to be a
Oh,
problem.
the servers are already there. They probably already paid for the servers. They're in contact.
So they don't have to have as long of a beta as another company would have. So for them to say that they're expecting a 6 month long beta, obviously they're going to give you a big chunk of the game. And how can storyline not be spoiled?
Unless they're gonna push this. Weren't you talking about PvP mode?
Well, yeah, but
Unless that's gonna be a big push for this.
but they've also said that they're not going to focus on balancing PvP.
That doesn't mean they don't need a thorough playthrough to see if it's working or not. Because balanced or unbalanced, people are gonna play PvP.
I'll agree with that, yeah. Really, the only thing that needs balancing in PvP, in my opinion, is stuns. Because that's the kind of stuff that gets abused.
Yeah, you don't want to be a vanilla WoW rogue.
Yeah. Yeah, they've kind of already addressed that, though. They've said that certain abilities that will cause you to lose control of your character won't be as long in PvP, but they've made it make sense by implementing the mechanic that those stuns also won't stun bosses or special NPCs or enemies for that length of time.
For what,
either.
the gameplay or the single player?
Well, the biggest thing is people are complaining about the difference between PvP and PvE. So if a stun lasts 6 seconds in PvE, so you're killing monsters, stun lasts 6 seconds, it might only last 2 seconds in the arena.
That makes sense.
But they've also kind of tied it together by that stun also only stunning bosses for 2 seconds or special enemies.
Which
for 2
makes sense
seconds.
again.
Exactly. So it's basically just like a toughness factor, right?
Didn't you just state that bosses won't be affected by stuns?
No.
So there won't be any stunning a boss.
Oh, there should be. Yeah, there should be stunning bosses.
Then what do you mean by not affecting them?
I didn't say it won't affect them. I said that it would affect them the same as it would another player. So you'd get that 2
okay.
second
I thought you said
duration.
it wasn't going to affect them. My bad.
No, it would be the 2 second duration.
Yeah, I was just saying. I'm getting confused. Like,
Yeah.
they were saying two different things at the same time.
Kind of was. That's why a lot of people do get confused by the whole PvP, PvE thing. But we kind of just opened up this can of worms here. I wasn't even planning on really saying anything about this beforehand.
Wasn't supposed to be a big Diablo 2 thing again.
Diablo 3, yeah.
Diablo 3, sorry.
But if the beta's going to be 6 months long, that's going to be a lot of storyline. That's not just Act 1. Unless they're going to have a ton of different beta phases, or like we said, it is going to be focused a lot on PvP, or how much loot do they actually have if it's going to take 6 months for us to see,
well, it's been 12 years. They've had enough time to make it.
No, I know. But we had the discussion last time about coding and everything and how the game is done and you can play through Diablo 3.
Yeah, but can they play through it on a mass level? I think it's
obviously not.
I think it's more stressing the new servers. They obviously implemented new servers for this game. And it's going to be stressing that and seeing if multiplayer people are playing it, if there's going to be any differences. Because you know how like the differences right now they have, let's say, 500 testers playing this game, a specific 500 people going over and over,
yeah,
as opposed to 10,000 people. Just the ratio of people over the amount of time are going to find more problems than those 500 could ever do in years.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially there's professional exploiters out there that just...
Yeah. Kyle.
Anyway, that's more than I wanted to talk about the beta. But
yeah, we need to progress.
Conference call. What that is, for those of you that don't know, is every once in a while, as all companies do, they have a conference call for all their investors. And they basically talk about their financial plans for the coming year, different releases that they're going to have and whatnot. Now, not too long ago, they did have a conference call a few months back. And in that conference call, it was said to the investors, as of right now, we have no... you know what, I barely want to say this because I know I'm going to misquote it, but it was something along the lines of, right now, Blizzard has nothing scheduled to be released in 2011. If nothing is released in 2011, we will release a minimum of 2 products in 2012. So what that kind of led a lot of people to believe was that Diablo 3 won't be coming out until 2012. But at the same time, it could just mean if we don't release Diablo 3 in 2011, it will be released in 2012.
Alongside with other games.
Right, which would
Just
be
saying,
StarCraft.
If you're not getting the profit that you thought you would get this year, next year it's going to be much more profitable than it has been in the past years.
Exactly.
Which probably means we're going to release Diablo 3. We're going to give you the next StarCraft, and we're going to release another expansion for Warcraft.
The next expansion for Warcraft will be 2013, I'm pretty sure.
World of Warcraft 2013?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
As per the leaked product slate. Now, I don't have that in front of me right now, so that might not
didn't
be it, but
Wrath of the Lich King and the newest one come out consecutively?
In a year apart? I think it might have been 2 years.
2 years?
Might have been 2 years. Could have been a year. You know what? I don't even know. I don't even know. I bought them both on release, but I don't even know. So what does that say about me? Anyway, on May 5th, they're having their next conference call. So if you listen to any other podcasts or YouTube channels or anything that are based around Diablo 3 only, then you've noticed that there's been no information. It's just been a crapshoot. Nothing. So YouTube channels such as Force Strategy Gaming have been uploading just random videos of Wizard gameplay from 3 years ago and trying to get by with that. Now, there's nothing wrong with that because they're focused just on Diablo 3. So they got to put out some sort of content, right?
Yeah, they need to keep their boat floating.
Yeah, exactly. But this conference call, I think, is the next big thing. This is where everything's going to be.
I think it's where they're going to clarify if they're going to have a release this year or next year. If they're going to have solid concrete, okay, this year we're going to see the release of Diablo 3, or this year we don't think we can make it.
I sure hope so.
So yeah, we're going to have another conference call in let's say a couple months. We're not totally sure again. We just...
See, that's fucking Blizzard though. That's what they do.
Bunch of douches.
We don't know. We don't know. It's come out when it's ready. You know what we say. Fucking hate Blizzard. But at the same time, they're like my crack dealer. So it's like, I hate you, but here's my fucking money.
Yeah, that's what you told me when Cataclysm was getting released. He's like, I hate World of Warcraft. But...
Why am I buying this? No.
And then for 2 months straight, you would not get off that. It was just, Frank, what are you playing? World of Warcraft. I didn't stop playing from yesterday.
What are you talking about? What day is it? All right. So, May 5th conference call. That's the next big step. I also wanted to talk about the trait system. We got in the comments from the last video that we didn't talk about the trait system. Now, if you follow any other podcast or anyone else that talks about Diablo 3, no one's talking about the trait system. Biggest reason is we really don't know too much about it. All it is another way to customize your character.
Not just us, nobody knows anything about it.
Yeah, it's
just not there.
I think they talked about it a little bit at BlizzCon 2010, and it was really, really limited. I mean, there's one photo.
It was
online.
just there'll be traits.
Yeah, there's gonna be traits.
Next.
Basically, it's just another way to customize your character. Like if you select a trait for the wizard, it'll increase the effectiveness of all your armor types by 100%. So double the effectiveness of your armor. That's a trait. As for how many traits you're going to be able to select or anything like that, obviously that's not all cleared up yet. So
yeah,
that'll be in the future.
And we'll be sure to bring it up when we find out.
And there's one more thing that I want to talk about for Diablo 3, but that was actually a question that was asked in the comments. So we're just going to try to keep it streamlined, and we're going to answer all the questions at the end. So
yeah, if we haven't mentioned that already.
All right, now here comes the awesome part about this podcast here. Hold on.
Feltzer did his research.
Okay, so last podcast I was talking about, we brought up Project Titan for a little bit near the end there.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, we already know what Project Titan is. It's a Halo MMO. And a lot of people hate me for saying that, but I dug up a lot of facts. And I kind of already knew a lot of this, but I just wanted to get it down concrete. First we heard about Project Titan was the leaked document from Blizzard China, which had all the release dates for all of their different IPs, right? Then at an interview at some games award show, forget what it was now. I actually wasn't even going to say this, but I am now. In an interview, Frank Pierce admitted that Titan is a real thing. The media is not supposed to know about Titan. Really, the only reason they'll ever talk about it is just strictly for recruiting purposes to get the best talent in the industry on the project. And that's all we knew. That's all we knew. Now, I dug up some interesting information. There was a Halo MMO that was already in development. It was a few years ago, and it was by Ensemble Studios. This is the company that made the Age of Empires series. Decent game company.
Yeah, actually very good game company.
Lead game designer at the time that Titan was under development there, Greg Street, also known as Ghostcrawler, who now works for Blizzard. Very high up. He's the lead systems designer, I think, for Blizzard now. Really active on the forums. Everyone knows Ghostcrawler that is on any sort of Blizzard forum. If you watch BlizzCon ever, you know who Ghostcrawler is. He's that bald dude that sits up there and looks smug and answers questions. That's Ghostcrawler.
I'm better than you.
Exactly. That's Ghostcrawler in a nutshell. Fact number 2. On an episode of 30 Rock in February of 2007, entitled Hardball, in the end credits, it said, promotional consideration furnished by Blizzard Entertainment.
This you did speak about this in the last podcast. This is just a continuation and clarification of what we did bring up.
The TV show was 30 Rock. It was February 2007. Okay? Now, what did they play in that episode? They didn't play World of Warcraft. They didn't play any Blizzard IP that we know of.
They played Diablo 3.
No. They played Halo.
Was anybody on an iPhone that could play a Blizzard iPhone game?
No. They played Halo. And then, in July of 2008, Rob Pardo announces, we have a new IP. We're creating a new MMO. And it's...
got bullets.
Yeah. And actually, in a few interviews, they asked him what it's going to be. Is it going to be first-person shooter? Is it going to be sci-fi? Is it going to be fantasy? Is it going to be... what's it going to be?
All of the above.
And he said it's going to be all of the above. Now, what's Halo? All of the above.
Are you
right?
sure?
Absolutely. Now, on for more facts here. Yes. There we go. In April of 2010, Bungie announced a deal with Activision Blizzard. Now, this deal allows Activision Blizzard to publish Bungie's games for the next 10 years across multiple platforms. So until 2020. And Titan was released, scheduled to release in, what was it, 2015? Yeah, I think it was 2015. Anyway, so Activision Blizzard CEO Thomas Tipple says, our unprecedented partnership with Bungie will enable us to broaden our pipeline of exciting new games as we continue to strengthen our industry position and pursue long-term growth opportunities.
Isn't Bungie owned by Microsoft?
Bungie made Halo and was owned by Microsoft. Okay? Bungie had, before this, recently purchased back 51% of their own stock.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So now they own themselves. But Microsoft still owns the IP for Halo. So while Bungie did make Halo, they don't own the IP for Halo.
Yeah, so it won't be called Halo. It'll be...
But here's the interesting thing.
It'll be called the Battle for Reach, and it'll just set place in the Halo universe.
That could be the case, but Microsoft owns 49% of the share of Bungie.
Mm-hmm.
So if any negotiations are going down with Blizzard and Bungie, Microsoft is right there, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
They're 49% shareholder. So obviously they're going to be in on that deal.
Yeah, that's so true. But like, I guess the only thing that's catching me off guard is the whole multiple platforms. I don't see, I don't even see it going to consoles if they do this. So I guess that doesn't make sense. Multiple platforms should just mean PC, because who's really gonna play an MMO on a console? I can't. I guess lots of people play MMOs on consoles. They have like Final Fantasy and stuff like
absolutely.
that, don't they?
Absolutely.
I just can't see a Blizzard game on a console. But they keep putting ads out there to try and get console developers.
Yeah. And they're working with Bungie. Who's better than Bungie?
Lots of companies.
Well, no, I mean like for this.
Activision.
Okay. Bungie working with Activision Blizzard
Yeah.
to create this game.
I think Bungie's just drawing the pictures and giving them to the guys who make this.
I can draw Master Chief. I can draw Master Chief too.
I can draw a grunt.
Actually, don't knock Blizzard artists, man. They're fucking insane.
No, I'm talking about Bungie artists.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, no. Actually, if you've ever watched that, or if you have a special edition version of Halo, if you watch their artwork for the games, they're awesome. Like, it's really cool stuff. It actually looks better than the game half the time.
Oh, yeah. A lot of artwork always does, in my opinion. A lot of the user-generated artwork, too, for Halo is pretty cool. See a lot of that online.
Yeah. Too bad you don't like Halo.
I fucking hate Halo, man. See, but is this... Are we just like reading too much into this or what?
I think you're reading too much into this. I think you should just wait. Calm down.
But look, I mean,
like,
if it was just one thing.
And you're asked, you hate Halo, and you're going to be the one playing this more than I will.
Well, something's got to take over WoW. And
I don't think anything has to take over WoW. I think a better graphics engine needs to take over WoW. Maybe a better physics engine.
See, the thing is, if they can capture the audience that plays World of Warcraft and the audience that plays Call of Duty into one game,
not gonna happen.
Why not?
Because the people that play Call of Duty don't want to have the attention span of, oh my god, I have to grind.
True, but they can make it so that it's not a grind.
What, you play individual battles to level up and then you walk in the world to buy ammunition?
Who knows? Maybe you could have like open world PvP. You could have
honestly
close combat arenas.
The only game I see worth making an MMO for now that's in the fantasy realm is Mass Effect. Just to jump off off topic, well, Mass Effect universe would be perfect for an MMO.
It's too similar to the Star Wars MMO.
No, it's not.
That'd be way too.
Mass Effect,
the Old Republic.
Any Mass Effect game you could put it up against a Star Wars game, and I would say Mass Effect's 100 times better.
A lot of people are really pumped for the Old Republic.
Oh, the Old Republic looks good. I'm not saying that it doesn't. I guess
the Old Republic to me sounds good, but looks bad.
the thing about the difference between the Mass Effect and the Star Wars is really between two factions, Jedis and Siths.
Yeah.
The Force versus
Force.
Yeah.
Light versus dark.
Where like in Mass Effect, it feels like the battle's coming from different areas, like different alliances.
Well, do you honestly think that a Mass Effect MMO would... who made Mass Effect? BioWare, right. And BioWare is making...
You don't got nothing on BioWare. BioWare has only made good products.
Oh, I agree. But do you think that BioWare, who's also making the Old Republic, by the way...
Oh, that's so true.
Do you think that they
I think
would make
BioWare,
a bad decision on this?
No. And I think BioWare is probably learning from this MMO to take it into Mass Effect, their own realm.
Maybe. Who knows?
That'd be cool.
Yeah. But I don't think BioWare could do anything in the MMO market that would touch anything that Blizzard Activision partnering with Bungie couldn't destroy.
I think if, I don't know, man, EA's huge. BioWare's backed by EA, and EA's
Crysis 2 is
ginormous.
doing well, so
they got power.
Yeah.
It's like pretty much when it comes up to the future, it's going to be EA versus Activision, who can bring the bigger IP to the table.
It almost already is, to be honest.
It is. It's pretty much these two publishers bought up everyone that's worthwhile almost.
Yeah. I don't think anything in the MMO scene could be touched by Blizzard Activision plus Bungie plus Microsoft.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense. Or well, at least they won't touch the PC platform. They'll do everything in their power to try to kill it.
No, not PC. Blizzard's too king of the PC realm, but if they brought it to console based,
well, Blizzard plus Microsoft, like, come on now.
Mm-hmm.
Can you touch that? I don't think so. And in the MMO market, is there really any other platform
No, nobody else is really. I guess they should team up with the guys that are making EverQuest.
Yeah. Man, EverQuest just won't die, eh?
No, that shit's here for the long run. Longer run than I'd say WoW.
Well, yeah.
WoW's
obviously.
gonna totally die out, and
Well, without
somehow
EverQuest, there wouldn't
EverQuest
be
is
World
just
of
gonna have
Warcraft.
like a group of people still playing it.
Yeah. The weird thing is, like, I was reading something like a year ago or something about how there's a ton of people that have gotten married from EverQuest, but there's barely any people that have gotten married from World of Warcraft.
That's so weird. Why are we bringing this up?
I don't know, but like,
This is a gaming podcast, not a weirdo podcast.
but they were saying like there's some weird bond that you create through playing EverQuest.
But I thought EverQuest was way more like individual based rather than.
No, man.
No, that's what I keep hearing. That
EverQuest is huge on people. You absolutely need people,
really,
and you have to be gelled. WoW can never touch what EverQuest has done for cooperation-based gaming.
I must just be getting confused.
It's
I don't
just
play
the
a lot of
opposite of
MMOs,
what-
so.
Well, honestly,
Did you ever play EverQuest?
for like 2 weeks,
Oh, really?
yeah, my dad bought me the game because he thought I'd like it.
Oh, because you played WoW?
Yeah,
How'd you go with that?
didn't like it.
No.
No.
I
It wasn't.
think-
It wasn't enough like WoW for me.
No.
I think WoW does the interface better, or sorry, Blizzard does the interface better. But EverQuest is, as weird as it sounds, they're better at the addiction part.
Who made EverQuest?
I have no fucking idea.
Neither do I.
EverQuest. I can just see the title on the box. EverQuest.
That's all I see.
Wow, we're looking pretty dumb right now.
Yeah, we are.
EverQuest made EverQuest.
Yeah, but if they teamed up with like EA, I think they'd be fine.
No, they can't touch Microsoft plus Activision Blizzard plus Bungie. Project Titan is the next thing. Project Titan is the next World of Warcraft.
I'm gonna laugh if this thing's not Bungie related or Halo related at all.
Oh, I could be totally wrong. I mean, I've heard other people say it, and I've heard other people point out 2 or 3 of these facts that I've pointed out here. Sure, I've seen a video on YouTube where they pointed out almost all of these facts,
It makes sense.
but I found more.
It'll make money. It's just it seems like two different. You know, what am I saying? People will buy it. Like
Oh, absolutely.
I just see it as, do the Halo fans want to play World of Warcraft? But I know a lot of people that play Halo and World of Warcraft mixed, and they love both games. It's just the thing to do.
Yeah. Like I said, if they can capture multiple audiences into one game, like a little bit of people from the FPS genre and everyone from the MMORPG genre, they'll be killing it.
Yeah, and you know, I'd probably play an MMO more if it was FPS related.
Exact. How many people out there right now would absolutely love a shooter, an FPS MMORPG?
If you would, leave a comment. If you don't, leave a comment.
Then we get to read them. Yay.
Yeah, reading.
But that's what we need now. Longer acronyms. FPS MMORPG. People already make fun of gamers for massive multiplayer online role-playing game.
Yeah,
That's MMORPGs. Yeah, first-person shooter, massive multiplayer online role-playing game. Son of a bitch. That's a mouthful.
That's what she said.
No, that's not what she says, because she'll be the one laughing at you when you say it. What are you doing? Why aren't you coming over? Oh, I'm playing a first-person shooter, massive multiplayer online role-playing game. No big deal.
I have
Getting
my
XP with my party using TeamSpeak.
I have my priorities straight.
Why don't you go outside and play with your friends? I'm logged onto an FPS MMORPG, getting XP with my party using TeamSpeak.
My friends are there.
But like back to what I was saying, I don't think that this many facts are just coincidence. Sure, one of these things maybe. All right, Bungie's partnering with Blizzard. And then a year and a little bit later, they announce an unannounced IP. Or
Yeah.
Not announce an unannounced IP, but they don't tell us the name.
Yeah. It's probably a Halo universe MMO. The thing is, if Diablo took 12 years to get out, how long is this going to take?
Well, if we believe the leaked product slate, which why wouldn't we? 2015. And that would
So
be right
Blizzard
around
will
the end of
only
WoW.
have 5 years to support it, and then watch Bungie not re-sign a contract with them, and they're just screwed with these servers for nothing.
Oh man, they'd really be able to extort the money out of them.
Oh
wouldn't they?
man,
Oh, you know what Blizzard would do? Blizzard would just buy the shares of Bungie. Blizzard would just buy Bungie because they're traded openly on the stock market, so there's nothing that's stopping Blizzard from purchasing them.
true.
They don't have to agree to sell. They can
Mhm.
just be like, "Yeah, we own you now. You didn't even know? Oh, you didn't know? Yeah. Well, we bought you from Microsoft and bought 2% of your share. Now we own 50%, 51% of your company. You guys can stay and have a job, but we tell you what to do." Although it wouldn't be Blizzard, it'd be Activision, obviously.
Yeah, them dirty scoundrels. It's kind of funny. My view on these publishers, Activision, EA, used to be so sour on EA and so positive for Activision, but after seeing Activision milk Call of Duty so horrendously,
Why wouldn't
and,
they, though?
and see EA come out with new games like Dead Space, Mass Effect, and just keep propelling these new IPs.
Yeah.
I have so much more respect for EA than I did probably 4 or 5 years ago, and much less than I did for
Activision?
yeah.
Well, honestly, I think the biggest cult following, if we don't include Blizzard, or I'm going to say cult following, people that just love the developer themselves, not the IP, would probably be BioWare.
Valve than BioWare.
Yeah, maybe Valve. Yeah.
Valve would be beside Blizzard. That's how big Valve is, though.
Well, I've never heard a bad comment about Valve.
Never.
Everyone loves Valve.
Or you know what? You get those people that are sour now, like Valve hasn't done anything new. Blah 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 blah.
Doesn't matter. Their prices. Their prices are ridiculously fair.
Exactly for what you get.
Oh, absolutely.
Man, Steam
DLCs are always so well priced, and if you see, I don't know if you just said that, but Steam sales.
Oh,
Jesus
fantastic.
Christ! What is it? BioShock $5?
Yeah, right. Oh, that was
Each?
yesterday. Because they do these collaborations with companies. Like right now is 2K deals. If you buy for the next 3 days, well, it actually is the past 2 days and then today. If you bought any of the games that are on sale, you get entered to win all of 2K's games, and they're gonna choose 50 people to have the entire 2K library.
That's insanity.
Which I pretty much bought that last Christmas when they had their extreme deals, 75% off. So I got $300 worth of games for $40.
Nice, solid.
Just like that right there.
Mhm.
So much gaming. It's almost like you have no time to do anything else.
Maybe that's who EA should go after. Valve.
Yeah.
Steam.
Valve
much.
is just so high quality. There's not as much time in between their games like Blizzard, but there's enough to get you angrily excited. Just like right now, I'm so pumped. Portal 2.
Yeah, you're trying to make me play that.
Yeah, Moose sent me a picture of the games today. We got them shipped into work, and I was like, "Oh man, let's just rip it open and go play right now." Screw working, or the laws we're breaking to lose our jobs.
Is there a collector's edition of?
I don't think so. That's one thing that Valve's not big on. They don't really care about
their
collectors.
prices. That's why
they have Game of the Year edition. That's it. Here, Game of the Year
Yeah.
edition. And when I bought Half-Life 2, I was in Walmart, and I was probably 15 or 14 or maybe 16. And the only reason I bought it is because I wanted Counter-Strike, and it came with Counter-Strike Source. So I was like, "Oh, I'll buy this." And then I ended up playing Half-Life 2, and it just blew my mind. And then the episodes. Oh, that's, you know what? Screw Project Titan. I want Half-Life 3. That's what I want.
I'm surprised that they haven't dropped Half-Life 3.
Oh man, I'm sure rumors are about to start peeking their head now that Portal 2 is on its way out. What's next? They released Left 4 Dead 2 last year, Portal 2 this year. What are they gonna do? They have to do something with Half-Life
Honestly, I'll be surprised if
or
they don't.
Counter-Strike, because there has been whispers about Counter-Strike.
Esports is huge now. So.
Oh yeah.
And you want to talk about a cult following?
Counter-Strike, man. You still go on those servers, and there's tons of people playing that.
Not only that, you go to MLG.
Yeah.
Why are they playing games that are that old? Doesn't make sense.
They still play Counter-Strike 1,
Counter-Strike 1.0. Yeah, no, that would be fun.
Those guys just know if you aim 3 pixels to the right of this hair, it's the headshot.
Yeah. No, it's just become like a gigantic exploit war.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, back on the subject, I think Valve over BioWare and then BioWare.
for cult following for just the company itself.
Yeah. I think BioWare is only starting to get its cult following.
I said I wasn't including Blizzard, so I would say Blizzard, then Valve,
Mm-hmm.
then BioWare. Only because look at BlizzCon.
The only reason I say that is because they have the MMO, so they have a constant fan base. If Valve had something that, like, I guess Counter-Strike counts, but there's no
Yeah.
new news or anything being released for Counter-Strike Source. It's Counter-Strike Source, and you play the same game over and over and over while WoW keeps getting new content.
Yeah.
How fast would if say the date that WoW was released and Counter-Strike Source was released, you think that if they didn't put out any more content for WoW, people would still be playing it?
No.
No, as opposed to frick, it's how many years later and people are still playing Counter-Strike and Counter-Strike Source.
That's true. But it's also a different kind of game, right? Like you can sort of finish World of Warcraft, whereas you can't really finish Counter-Strike.
No, you can't.
Without content patches for WoW, you'd be done because you just get the best gear. All you would be doing would be running a dungeon to get gear that you already have. So
Yeah, but that's my only point, is that the reason that Blizzard's big is because they have this following for WoW that keeps getting updated and people going back. Like, you're not playing WoW now, but you were a month ago because of the new content, and that was pretty much the only reason.
Yeah.
Now, haven't you deactivated your account again?
Well, no, but
Well, you just like giving Blizzard your money, $14 a month for not doing anything.
I know, it's sad. It really is sad. But at the same time, basically what you're saying is
I'm saying Blizzard
has a cult
WoW.
following because they make better games.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying because they keep updating the same game, and
because they support their games more than.
again, no.
Really? Okay. Well, what is it then? Just because content patches?
I'm saying that Valve has released more quality pieces of game in the past couple of years than Blizzard has. They just keep banking off the same ones.
That's true.
Because you're still waiting for Diablo 2.
3.
Or Diablo 3. Oh my, why do I keep messing that up?
Well, that's nothing new though. I mean, I've been a member of Diablo fans since I think it was 2008, early 2008.
Yeah.
And I thought the game was coming out then. It might be late 2008. Whenever it was that it was announced.
You were very optimistic.
Worldwide Invitational. No, I was. I was thinking to myself, why would they announce it if it wasn't close to coming out?
Yeah.
Why not?
Why would they have the beta if it's not close to coming out? Oh, because they like fucking with people?
I remember being in high school and just getting my iPod and having gameplay video of StarCraft 2 on my iPod and watching it on the bus.
Does this sound a classic?
No.
Well, the classic when we were in high school was the only one that played video.
Nope. Nano.
Okay, must have been the 3rd gen then.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. Anyways.
Yeah. And so basically what I'm trying to say is they do this with every one of their games. And StarCraft 2 is the one that sort of unlocked that for me. I was like, yeah, no, Diablo 3 is not coming out for a long time.
And like, they're so finicky with their games. Like, I remember reading a whole OXM magazine about StarCraft Ghost and like how it's going to be ready in a year. And then that year went by and I'm like, where's this game at? And then like 3 years go by and that is in the garbage.
That's brutal.
Honestly, we're talking about a Halo MMO. I would much prefer the World of StarCraft MMO over a Halo world.
I would too.
StarCraft would be brutally awesome.
That would be absolutely unreal. Do you have to be a Marine? Could you be a Hydralisk?
That'd be sick. Just like,
that'd be so hard to do though. Oh my god. And you can't really acquire gear on a Hydralisk.
Just think about how, like, why not? Battle armor on a Hydralisk? Like putting like sharper blades on his like.
No, that looks so stupid. What are you gonna get? Pointier darts?
Yeah. Why not? Change the color?
Ah, man. I don't know. That just doesn't seem like it makes sense to me. Everyone has to be. It has to be an FPS MMORPG. If it was just Marines and Marauders or something like that, that'd be cool.
Why?
I don't know.
Why can't you be a Protoss?
What are you gonna be?
In the sense, I think it'd be
Stalker?
cool if, like, you just start out as a human, you just set out as a Protoss, or like a random Zerg human thing, and then you build up from there. Kind of like I didn't play the storyline of StarCraft, but who's the chick that
Queen of Blades.
yeah. What if you just
She's the
started
leader
like,
of the Zerg
why don't
army.
you just turn into a human that's Zerg like her, and then upgrade the armor on that, and like you can have.
You can't just randomly be as powerful as Kerrigan and expect a Marine to be able to take
No,
on
I don't mean as
Kerrigan.
powerful, but I'm just like Kerrigan's form. She's like a human Zergling. She has legs and an arm.
She's
arms.
She's the queen, man. She's the
No,
queen.
you're not getting it. I don't mean.
You mean you just want
I
them to
didn't-
look human but be Zerg?
Yeah, like how they did.
Oh man, it's got to make sense. And in that case, all the characters that you could be on Zerg would have to have been human at one time.
Makes sense.
No, I don't like it.
Humans are the best
one bit.
race. Aliens.
You're racist. I as much as I like the idea of being a Marine, I just think that Halo makes more sense just because you don't have monsters. Well, you do have those
You do,
weird
like,
things in Halo. What the hell are those?
Well, there's
They're like
grunts. There's
raptors or something.
elites. Raptors.
They look fucking weird. They're like, I don't know. They look like a dinosaur.
Oh yeah. What's their names? The other ones.
Whatever. Who cares? Halo sucks. Halo, but
Man,
you can see why it would be Halo. Halo's all
I'd rather
kid friendly.
Gears of War MMO.
That would be insanity.
That'd be awesome.
Everyone
Choose your
would play
faction.
that.
Be
Everyone would play
locust
that.
or human.
I don't even like Gears of War though. Like, ugh.
Why?
Gears of
You
War.
just don't like Xbox. Just say that.
I don't mind Xbox.
You barely like consoles.
Yeah, that's true.
So like have you even played a solid like 2 hours of Gears of War?
No,
Yeah, so don't
I've
talk
only
shit
watched
about
people.
it.
I've watched Louis play.
I talk shit about World of Warcraft. I talk shit about you playing it, but as soon as I played it, it got a little more fun.
No, I totally agree with that. I know I'd have fun with it. There can't be that many people that like the game, and it'd be that bad.
Especially the new footage of Gears of War, which beta comes out April 18th for people that bought Bulletstorm, and the 24th for people who get some kind of online code, or if you go to Best Buy or Future Shop and buy your pre-order, you get a ticket to play in the beta.
Wow,
Which I will be doing.
awesome! You're gonna have to let everyone know how that goes.
I will.
What have you been playing recently, anyway?
I have been playing Killing Floor because I bought a Steam sale. It was the potato sack, and I got Killing Floor. I thought Super Meat Boy was in it. I already had it. Played a little more of that. But staying on top of the Killing Floor, oh man, that game just surprised me so much. Like, I'm pretty sure after I'm done the podcast and get home, I'm gonna play some Killing Floor.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it looked so horrible from pictures. I don't know why I bought that pack on Steam, and then I just was like bored. I was like, oh, I have so many games I don't play. I might as well just install it and try it. And like within like the first hour was like, oh, this is all right. Like, oh, I didn't know you could aim down the sights. I thought it was just gonna be a side shooter.
Right.
I noticed that was there. Well, the only gripe I have about it is there's no sprint. Your guy always runs, kind of,
Right.
but it's so slow. It feels like a walk in any other game. And then if you walk,
That's not good for a zombie game.
yeah, but that's what makes it intense because you're getting chased by zombies and you can't sprint. You have to hope that you're
That's
shooting
fucked
in
up.
the head. It's actually really good. And then everyone's got medic guns, but I've been in matches where people are really smart and you have a guy that's a medic.
Right.
And then you have games where everyone's just like, I'm going to be top dog and shoot everything. And everyone dies because I'm like, and I'm even saying medic, heal me. And these guys are just shooting. And I'm like, what the hell, guys? Like, seriously, and we could not get past, we died like on the fifth tier of zombies.
Is it like a wave system?
It's a wave system. It's 10 waves. And then after you beat the 10th wave, there's this like super guy that goes invisible and heals himself with a huge turd on his hand and like wrecks guys, like tears them up.
It reminds me of Fallout.
But it's
Big
kind
invisible guy.
kind of balanced because there's different zombies or different monsters almost. They're not all zombies. They're like mutations pretty much. There's this one with like a chainsaw on his hand, like attaches his hand, and he takes so many bullets and grenades. And then today I took the crossbow because there's actually different perks. You can be like a commando, which is good with assault rifles. You can be a an assault who's good with shotguns. You can be like a sniper kind of. And I
Right.
take out the crossbow as a sniper, which is with this. I can't think of the actual name of the perk, but you're good with pistols, rifles, single shot items,
Right.
and
Yeah.
you're good at doing headshots. So I grabbed the crossbow, and the guy with the chainsaw who like takes forever. I just because the crossbow has a sight on it, I pulled it up, shot at its head. It's a one shot kill every time to this guy. But if you have a whole group of without the crossbow,
Yeah.
you're like plowing this guy with bullets, and you're so focused on that the other zombies get you. But we were doing so well this one time because I was taking out all those guys, and I didn't have as many kills as the other guys because they had shotguns and grenade launchers, and they were just
Right.
taking the little things. But whenever the big guys came, my headshots were taking down them so they could focus on it. We got farther than on hard than I did with any other group, which was kind of awesome. And you asked me when we were before we started talking on the podcast. You asked me about, well, didn't people say there's more people? Yeah, it can go up to like I've seen servers of 20, but I think they're just like hack servers.
Right. Yeah.
But the main amount is 6 people I've seen in the server, and it works really well.
They scale the amount of zombies to the amount.
Yeah, pretty much. It's not even scaling. You get raped if you're not well equipped and people aren't varied to fight the different types of zombies.
So do they just make the zombie stronger if there's more people, or do they actually increase the amount?
The amount increases by the waves. The different types of zombies kind of increase by the waves, and then you can choose easy, hard, and then it depends how fast the zombies die.
Is it
It's not
affected by the
people-based.
amount of people in the game or no?
Not I haven't played enough to be able to tell.
Right, okay.
Most of the servers I go for are 6 people servers, so there's always 6 people. So I've never
Right.
been able to tell that. But the only thing I've picked on is the higher levels you get harder zombies. Like there's the chainsaw zombies who don't come out till level 6, and you'll get like 2 or 3 of them, and then by level 10 you get like, and those guys usually don't come out till the last, like by level 6 you're killing maybe 150 zombies in that wave, and it wasn't until like the last 30 zombies you started seeing the ones with the chainsaw. While level 10, the first like 30 zombies that attack you have chainsaws. They're the ones with the grinders on their hands and like berserkers who chase you and just tear you apart.
Would you
So-
say that they have better zombie mechanics than Left 4 Dead, or similar, or what?
Totally different. Like I would say Left 4 Dead has better. They almost have the same in some sense. They both have boomers. They
Okay.
both like, it's kind of funny. I'm like, who stole what from who? Because the same idea, this big fat thing walks over and spits goo on you and it hurts you. But it's different because the boomer and does the bile hurt you? And
No, it
Left 4
doesn't
Dead?
damage you. It just makes
no, see this
zombies
one
attack you.
damages you and it hurts your screen. So not hurts your screen. It makes your screen.
So you can't see, or what?
Yeah. So you can't see as much or as well.
Does it attract zombies to you, or no?
Yeah, I think it did. I think more zombies attacked me, and that's why it may seem like it's damaging me. But at the
Okay.
same time, I ran away from zombies. My team killed them off, and I was taking little chunks of damage. That's the only similarity. Then there's like a crawling zombie. It's all black. It's not even a zombie. It's like a mutation monster with like spikes out of its back, and it crawls everywhere, and it jumps at you, kind of like an alien. And then there's just your random like walk slow, and then there's a new one like a berserker who has like a blade on his hand, and like as soon as you shoot him and draw an attention, he sprints at you, so you have to like shoot him in the head. And one thing I know it's really well is like in games when you shoot, like bullets don't feel like they're powerful enough. This game feels like the bullets are powerful enough for what you're fighting. Like if you shoot them in the head, it seems dead on headshot. As opposed to where other games you feel like you gotta be finicky with it and figure out how their headshot or how their aiming mechanism works. This game
Right.
seems like where you point, you hit. Like
Right.
it's cool for a zombie game because you don't need to be trying to get a learning curve of how to shoot with a game. Kind of like Call of Duty when you're playing just massive zombies and you're hopping in with friends.
Right.
So I noticed that. Cool weapons, like there's a crossbow, there's shotguns, there's grenade launchers. And again, there's so much dynamic to it where you need a little bit of everything to get through it well. The only thing I found really weak were actually the assault rifles. Shotguns, crossbows, even pistols were awesome. But the assault rifles, like the Scar, I just kept shooting stuff. And it was a good slowdown mechanism. It's good to slow down the monsters or the zombies, but it's not like, it doesn't tear things apart or kill them as fast as you'd think it would. Like when I
Right.
have 2 Desert Eagles and I'm aiming at heads, I'm just dropping zombies within like 15, 20 feet, even like 40 feet. As opposed to the like assault rifle, you really be plowing bullets into them just to slow them down. And it's weird because in games when you run, like when you run in Call of Duty, like the crosshair doesn't bob a lot.
Right.
This really takes that out. You better be aiming down the sights. If you're not, your gun's just hopping. So it kind of adds that like you need to stop, shoot, then run. So planning your
Right,
attacks rather than just keep moving backwards and shoot.
So it's like right between Call of Duty and Resident Evil, where you can't even move and shoot at all.
Yeah, but you can move and shoot. It's just so brutal.
Yeah.
Unless you're holding like pistols. That's only if you're holding big guns. It seems like it's really hurtful.
Right.
But if you have dualies and you aim down the sights, because there is the aiming, it just brings the dualies close together, and you kind of aim in the between it because there's no crosshairs, or there's no like crosshairs when you're not aiming. And it feels right. Like it feels like, okay, if I was aiming there in real life, I would be hitting that spot.
Now, is there a progression system where you like unlock guns or what?
It's not so much unlocking guns. You start out with money, and every kill you get gives you money to buy guns. The only progression system is your perks. There's different levels of them. So level 1, let's say medic perk will give you 5% extra healing, will give you 10% damage with like the medic's MP5, because there's specific medic guns, and it'll do like you'll heal yourself 5% faster. But when you get to level 2, it'll be like 10% heal everyone faster, 20% more damage with this gun. So as you go through the levels, it gets better. And there's a weird thing I noticed. There was like a guy level 10, and he started out with a grenade launcher, and this is like a $3,000 gun, and you started with 200, and every zombie kills like $5 or $10.
Right.
So I was like, how did he get the grenade launcher? I don't know if somebody wants to put a message on the YouTube channel why this happened, but I think it's because maybe a certain level on the perk or downloadable content. That's the only thing I can think of, because I haven't done any of the downloadable content yet. But
is there a lot?
There's, from my understanding, it's just character packs, so different models.
Oh, okay.
Which I don't see how that would make. Maybe by buying a certain model, you get the advantage of getting the grenade launcher. If anyone wants to let me know, then let me know.
Well, I guess we're both playing old games. Yeah. Well, not necessarily old, but
yeah. Within the last year and a half, they've been released.
Yeah. I started off this week playing Prototype, which is better than I remember it, to be honest. I knew it was a good game when I played through it the first time, but honestly, this is a game that you need to play through twice to really appreciate it. It's such a good game. If you haven't played Prototype, you absolutely need to play Prototype.
I will have to do that.
Now, the system that I was interested in that I totally forgot about was actually the health orb system. They have a health orb system in Prototype. So basically when you kill an enemy, they drop like a little red globe on the ground, and if you run to it, it kind of gets attracted to you and heals you a certain percentage, right? Sound like Diablo 3 much?
Yeah. But what I mentioned to you was when we were chatting that night, you said, "Oh, I figured out where Diablo 3's got their new health orb idea," and I actually let you know that it was on Amusha.
Yep.
That I remember from. Now we might both be wrong. There could be a game before both of these that started the health orb distribution system for healing yourself.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's a hard idea to think of. And if it was really only one other game that's used it, or two other games that have used it, I'm sure people would be talking about it.
Yeah, it keeps games running smooth, I think.
There is a little bit of a difference though in
Diablo 3 and
Prototype. Yeah, because in Prototype they actually get attracted to you, much like in
Diablo
Fable.
3, Diablo 3 seems, well, Fable you have to hold out a button.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. But it's kind of like that, but you don't have to hold down a button.
Okay. Well, in Diablo 3 it looks like you have to walk to it, and
you do.
Like it sucks into you as you walk through it.
It's a lot more strategic, I think, in Diablo 3, because you actually have to plan your attacks around how you're going to get to a health orb. Wherein it's actually similar strategy-wise in Prototype, just because it's a much larger area than you would encounter in Diablo 3. They get sucked to you, but the area is so much larger, the sucking to you doesn't really make that much of a difference.
No.
You actually have to get fairly close before they come to you. But the game itself, if you haven't seen it or seen a trailer, basically you're this ultimate badass guy that's just trying to figure out what happened to you.
Yeah, weren't you created by the army, the U.S. or the Russian army, to be like the ultimate soldier?
I can't really give anything away storyline wise without ruining the game because it's largely storyline based. But basically, experiments were being done on you, and it turned you into something where you're the ultimate badass. You can basically morph claws on your hands. You can turn your hands into enormous fists, so you can jump up in the air and smash down on tanks and explode them.
So you're kind of like Hulk, but not always the same ability.
Yeah, exactly. You can like run up the side of a building and then jump off and freaking glide like a flying squirrel, and it's just really cool. But the coolest part about the game is the entire game you're trying to piece together what happened to you. So they do this by basically little memory clips. So you can consume people. What you do basically is you just run up to them. I'm playing it on PC, so you hit E and then you right click and you kind of punch them and they get sucked into you, and you can look like them if you want to. By pressing 2, you then transform into looking like them. And you can do this to anyone in the game. Now,
what about bosses?
You can do that to the bosses as well.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. And you can do
it's kind of an easy boss. You just run up, hit them, and...
But they have to be down to a certain level of health before you can consume them. Actually, most of the game is consuming certain people so that you can also get their memory.
Mm-hmm.
When you get their memory, then you can slowly piece together where you have to go next and all that kind of stuff.
Now, what happens if you don't get the person that you're supposed to consume? If you just skip them, do you lose part of the story? Does it not progress until you do? Or
there's ones that you can skip, a lot that you can skip, like people just walking around on the street. Basically what happens is you'll just be running around the city, and your map will alert you that with basically a little red head icon type thing, that there's a memory that you can get. So you just have to go find that person. They're probably just walking around on the street. It could be just a regular dude. It could be a soldier or whatever. And you do the exact same thing. You hit E and then you consume them. And it goes to like a cutscene, just like a quick time event, and shows you, whatever their memory is. It could be something that you don't understand at the moment because you haven't, progressed that far yet. Or it could be something that totally makes sense.
But what if it's like you missed the key point and you picked up a key point that was supposed to be based on the last key point? Can that happen, or is it
No,
impossible?
you wouldn't get something that's that serious outside the main storyline. All the really serious ones, you pretty much get forced into.
Okay, forced into. Okay.
It's kind of cool to go around the city and get ones that you didn't get last time, and
you
can
see ones?
Yeah, some of them are just really stupid, like it's some soldier standing in line getting yelled at or something.
Really?
He just has like a random memory, and it's like, oh, that's pretty cool. And they were talking about you. So, or they were talking about getting beat up by you or something like that. It's really cool. It's really cool. And they change as the game goes on. And another really cool thing is you see the city change.
Really?
And you can actually affect how the city changes because
that's awesome.
Not only are you infected, there's the outbreak of a disease that infects the entire city. So buildings get infected and they turn into hives, and like
That's
these
weird.
monster things emerge from the hives, and you have to kill the hives.
So you're kind of like, you're double-sided fighting the army and the new...
You're fighting two things, yeah.
Okay.
And you can, if you kill the army more, then the infection grows more.
Wow,
you
so
kill the
you're
infection
you're
more.
playing a weird version of Grand Theft Auto where you're either this part of the gang or that gang.
Exactly.
It's an infection or the army. Choose.
Exactly. Or you can just play whatever way you want. And
Middle of the pack.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm my own army.
Yeah, because that's technically what you are, because they're both trying to kill you.
Why would the infection want to kill you, though? I don't understand that. You're kind of like the infection.
Yes, that's an extremely large part of the story that you don't get right away. So I don't want to ruin that for anyone.
I guess maybe if I ever play it, I'll find out.
Absolutely. And there's one other person that they were doing experiments on too, chick. And
ooh la la.
I don't want to give any of that away, but basically she's a large antagonist, and you pretty much go to try to save her, but you don't realize that she's a crazy bitch.
Man versus woman.
She tries to, yeah. Anyway,
like we need that in a video game. It's not enough real.
Really, yeah. And the other game that I was playing, actually, I should preface this a little bit. A couple months ago, I accidentally wiped Windows off of my computer, and lost everything. So I lost all my. I had a lot backed up on hard drives and stuff, but all my saved games that I had wiped. So Fallout New Vegas, I was really, really far in, and just wiped my game. So I didn't start playing until 2 days ago. Again, just because I was so depressed that all the time that I had put into it was gone. And again, this game is amazing. Like, I'm having so much fun. Having just beat Prototype, I thought, probably won't play a game like this for a while again. You know what I mean?
Like Prototype?
Yeah, like any just simple game on the PC where
just go buy Infamous and play it on your PS3. Well, isn't that the game that was like they were like head to head?
It was, yeah.
Infamous 1.
Infamous versus
that
Prototype.
Makes no sense because Infamous was so prioritized for PS3 that they didn't have to focus on is this going to be good on multiple areas as opposed to
I never played
this
it.
is just going to be good.
I have no idea if it was good or not.
That's a totally different subject. Back onto.
Did you ever play Infamous?
I played the demo and I got bored of it.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's why I'm sketched out about playing
Prototype
because I don't know if I'll like it.
Oh man, it's really cool. You're like the ultimate super awesome guy, and you get to kill random people. If you consume civilians, it heals you. So you're constantly just murdering people for no reason, just to heal yourself.
This sounds like a great game. It is Grand Theft Auto.
I know. I'm getting ready to go do a mission, but I'm not fully healed yet. It's open world, right? So you go to different areas.
Don't like people screaming like, "Oh my god, he's eating people!"
Yeah, and basically what you do is you grab them by the neck, and then just quickly sprint up a building. So you're on the roof of the building, and then you consume them on top.
Oh, really?
So no one sees you do it.
Oh, I didn't realize you grabbed that guy by the neck.
Man, it's so crazy because they flop around like a dead fish when you grab them by the neck, and you just fucking sprint with them.
Does he kill them like instantly? Crack the neck and run up?
Well, they're alive while you're running with them. They're like, "Oh my god!" It's pretty funny, and there's a lot of swearing in the game too.
Yeah, that was one of the bad things about that I picked up on the reviews. Guys said they used fuck a little
too much. Yeah, it's kind of like if you ever played True Crime: Streets of LA.
I remember
just walking around the city and people are just randomly swearing for no reason.
Yeah, it's just like all the music swearing. It's just like the dirtiest rap you can find.
Oh my god. Honestly, that game sucked, but I played it a lot.
Yeah, you just wanted something to be good other than Grand Theft Auto.
I know.
It looked a little bit better at the time. It was a little more shiny.
You could unlock Snoop Dogg, man.
Oh yeah,
I unlocked Snoop Dogg in his purple Cadillac.
You know what's worse?
So ballin'.
You know what's worse than True Crime LA?
The 50 Cent game?
No, True Crime New York.
Oh, I never
think
played
they got worse. Like
I
played that. I got it free with an Xbox purchase or something, and I think I tried playing it when I used to have my Xbox, and it was just terrible. It was like, really? Their mouths just like wobbled open in mouth, and then they had like different.
Oh my god,
I hate that.
That's brutal.
When you don't put quality in the game, it's not even worth playing it.
I didn't even understand the protagonist you're supposed to be.
You're like a bad cop.
Yeah, you're like some Asian white cop.
You're bad and good at the same time, or you're the dirty cop, but you're good.
It doesn't make any sense.
It was confusing.
And some of the level design was just like, yeah, this is totally broken.
Yeah.
And the way that a lot of the missions were, it was open world, but it was so linear once you got into some of the things.
I was like, you had no time to just explore because you had to follow this certain...
And especially they'd be like, all right, you're inside now. Now you have to get to this other door.
Yeah,
and there's only one path to get there.
Nothing compares to Grand Theft Auto. And like, you're a cop. Come on, like.
No, I know.
You want to be the
dude on the fucking street,
mob boss. Like,
they tried to kind of do that by making you the dirty cop, but
yeah, I think so.
Didn't really work out.
Yeah, but they didn't have a gym to go work out and make your guy bigger. Like,
no, I know.
Fail.
They had gyms where you could go so you could learn different moves.
But then didn't you have to know the button combination?
Yeah, you did.
Oh man, I'm not. Am I playing a free roam shooter? Am I playing Mortal Kombat? Mortal Kombat, by the way, looks awesome.
Yeah.
Man, too many good games are coming out.
This is going to be an amazing year for games.
It already has been, honestly. Like,
yeah, it has been. Yeah. What about Dead Island coming out? Did you see that?
Oh man,
that looks insane.
I read an article, and not to quote exact words or anything, but the guys that are developing it and producing it are saying we're not trying to make a kiddie, fun survival. Don't get eaten by the zombies. We're making a realistic brutality. If you were stuck on this island with your family, what would you do to survive?
Oh my God.
I was just like, oh, that's intense. And I know they didn't say it exactly like that, or maybe not mean it per se that way, but it came out an awfully lot like that.
They actually just had to change their logo, eh?
They did? Why?
The dead island, the zombie used to be hanging from the tree in a noose, and they couldn't get that approved.
That's so dumb.
Now it's a walking zombie under the eye.
But just like, how did they even release that the trailer, not the gameplay trailer, but the little girl that gets like, and they do it in reverse. Oh,
that was intense as shit,
man. I would just want to watch that now.
That was all over Facebook. Everyone was just like, "Oh my God, this is a little girl.
Yeah,
she'd be dead."
Yeah, they're like, did they just kill a little girl? They didn't kill the little girl. The zombies did. Stop getting mad at the people.
Get mad at the zombies. God, dumbass people. But yeah, I don't want to talk about Fallout New Vegas just because everyone's played Fallout New Vegas.
I haven't. What? I can't see myself investing that much time. I'm much preferably
you just play games like quick. Like, you play a bunch of games.
I'm just like everywhere.
How much money do you waste on Steam? I'm not gonna say waste. How much money do you spend on Steam?
Have I spent on Steam? A lot. But you gotta understand, how much money have I saved by Steam as well?
Well, yeah, that's true.
I bought packages of games that I would have spent full price, and they were just there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, there have been times, I don't even like buying games on Steam when they're not on sale, because I remember buying Super Meat Boy when it was released. It was like $15 or $20. 2 weeks later, it was like 75% off on sale for $3. I was like, what the fuck?
God
like,
damn it.
How can you do that? I just like refund my money. Where's this? I want the 2-week return policy or lowest price guarantee.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But
so,
yeah,
like I said, we don't got to talk about Fallout New Vegas.
Do you really want me to say how many games I have on Steam? I think I have close to 100.
Probably, yeah.
Or more.
Yeah, I looked through your list before you. Yeah,
yours is like, I went through yours and it was like 6 games. I was like, 6 games?
Well,
man,
I had an old
giving
Steam
him
account.
Super Meat Boy. He needs this.
I sold my old Steam account a long time ago now.
And I've contemplated selling it, but I'm like, there's just too much on there now that, like,
I wish I didn't, because I had, just stupid stuff like Counter-Strike and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you miss it.
Yeah.
And honestly, for the money you probably got out of that and spent on like candy or garbage.
I ended up buying a WoW account with it.
Yeah, see.
And then I sold the WoW account for like a little bit more money, so. Wait, I shouldn't say that, should I? No. Never mind, I didn't do that. Who does that? It's against the end user license agreement.
I don't think we're that big yet. I don't think Blizzard's paying attention to us.
All right. Anyway, time for the best part of any podcast.
The questions.
All right, we're not going to do this in any particular order. Just except for the first one that I want to answer. From Dean the Gopher on YouTube. And he asks, are we only going to be talking about Diablo 3? Or are we going to talk about other stuff as well, like we did at the end of episode 1?
Unfortunately, Dean, we have to break it to you. It's not always going to be about Diablo 3.
If that is your real name.
As opposed to, not opposed to anything, but if you've noticed or listened to or if you backtracked any of our older podcasts, we have focused a lot on Blizzard, but it's because the times we did the podcast were primarily when WoW got released. Or not WoW was released, but the expansion release.
Yeah, and BlizzCon had just happened as well. So.
And the upcoming events of information about Diablo 3 coming up. Not to say we're not going to talk about Diablo 3. Like today we did have, I think, a 20 or 30 minute segment of it.
Well, here's the thing. Anytime there's information on Diablo 3, we're going to talk about it.
As any game that we are interested in, we're going to bring it up.
And I'm going to play Diablo 3. I'm going to play the crap out of Diablo 3.
Yeah, you'll play a lot more than I will.
I'm going to do my best to get into the beta. And honestly, if you listen to any podcast right now that's only focused on Diablo 3, they're 20 minutes of actually talking about Diablo 3 and then 20 more minutes of them scraping the bottom of the barrel trying to talk about something just because there's nothing to talk about. Right? Like I said earlier,
they should revert to back to being Diablo 2 podcasts.
No, I know.
This podcast weren't around back then. Might as well just start fresh and be like, so what have you been playing? Diablo 2. You have no idea what I just found this weekend.
Oh my God, Griswold's armor. This has got to be the best thing in the game, mate. All right. But yeah, we will talk about Diablo 3. Don't get me wrong. You subscribe to us, and because you like Diablo 3, you won't be disappointed. Because
No, of course not.
honestly,
And if you have a question at any time, we're more than open. We'd love to answer it.
and that brings us to our next question. DJ Vampire on YouTube asks, magic finding in Diablo 3. How are they going to handle magic finding? Well, the short answer is we don't know because they haven't actually given us any definitive answers yet.
Like most of the game.
Yeah, but the general consensus seems to be that they weren't happy with the way it was handled in Diablo 2. Basically, for those of you that don't know, a magic find was basically on your gear. So you had a certain percentage on your gear that would add to your chance of finding good loot. Now, the problem with that was the gear that had magic finding on it wasn't the best gear in the game. So what you were doing was essentially gimping your character so that you could find better loot. Now, the problem with that is you're going out to get loot that you're not going to wear because it doesn't have magic finding on it. So obviously that's not how they want it to work in Diablo 3. Now, they haven't said this, but the consensus seems to be that it's going to be some sort of a passive skill that you're going to gain. Now, you might be able to increase that somehow by leveling something up, who knows? But they probably won't implement it close to the way it was in Diablo 2. Do you have anything to add to that or what?
This whole idea that you're using stuff only to get more magic find.
Yeah.
Isn't that part of like a role-playing game? Grinding out stuff you don't enjoy until you get to that end game. I feel complete because I have the proper armor.
Well, yeah, but see, the end game in Diablo 2 was gear that had more magic find. They want the end game in Diablo 3 to be the best gear.
Yeah.
So they don't want magic finding to be a part of your gear.
Oh, you're saying magic find like from the second act could be better than the last act?
No. It's going to be character based, not act based. So whoever your character is.
I mean, right now is magic find. Is that what you're saying?
Magic find in Diablo 2 is a percentage on your gear.
Mm-hmm.
So you actually go out and get gear that has, for example, what you get gear that has magic find on it, and it won't be as good as the best gear or even good gear, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So you were gimping your character. You were going out there with a crappy character that had a lot of magic find.
Okay.
And essentially that was the end game. You had really good magic find, but a shitty character.
That sucks.
Exactly. That's not what they wanted to be.
If that's what they're going for, then yeah, I totally see their point.
Maybe just have an amulet only. Maybe the only stats that come from your amulet are magic find ever. Mm-hmm. So as you go on, you get better amulets, something like that. It doesn't have to be attached to gear.
Could it be rune-based even?
Well, no, because actually we had a bit of a troll in the comments there, and he was saying we didn't talk about runes in weapons or armor or something like that. For those of you that don't know, the only thing that runes are going to be used for is changing the way that your skill acts. Runes as they existed in Diablo 2 are no more. So if you want to troll us and say that we weren't talking about something or we didn't mention something, at least have your facts straight, because that just made no sense at all. Now, I know someone actually addressed that in the comments for us, so we don't really have to talk about it, but yeah. Anyway, that's all I have to say about Magic Find. It's probably not going to be, it will not be the way it was in Diablo 2, and it probably won't have anything to do with your gear. It'll probably be some sort of a passive skill that you would get somehow. The idea that I thought would be good would be the amulet idea. Just have one piece of gear that absolutely has nothing to do with how powerful your character is, only to do with Magic Find.
Makes sense. But I guess we can move to the next question. This one's from the Ponzers. He's asking, he's building his first gaming rig. Should he go liquid or regular cooling? Personally, if this is your first question for us about building your first computer, I'd say do a little research. Just for the fact that, I've built my fourth computer now and I still haven't touched water cooling, mainly because it's not that it scares me. It's a little expensive to get good water cooling.
Yeah.
As where you can spend the same price and get similar results from air cooling. And it's, a lot of air cooling so good now for your CPUs and your GPUs now that I would say go air and spend the money you are going to spend on a crazy water cooling system on a better graphics card or a better processor.
I think the key point there is that it's his first computer
Yeah.
that he's building. If
Not
you're
to-
building
not
your
to say
first
that-
rig,
I'm not
don't
not
go
to
water
say
cooling.
you could have plenty of knowledge. I'd say the big things you want to look at when you're building your first rig, not to undermine, is you need a great power supply. Get yourself spend a little bit more extra money
Absolutely.
on a power supply because rigs now are power thirsty and power hungry that you want to have a good power supply. Cooling is very essential. Look for good air cooling.
Brand name is huge too.
Yeah.
Corsair for your power supply.
Yeah, Corsair. And you know what? You can even go Antec. Antec has good power supplies. Seasonic or Seasonic, however you want to say it. They make good stuff. Stay away from like companies that just make GPUs and get into like power supplies. I've heard they're good. Like XFX supposedly makes a good one, but I've also heard bad and horror stories from them. So like myself, if you want to know what I'm using Corsair HX 750. Works fantastic, and I'm about to throw another GPU on mine and run it into a dual 6870 XFX. Yeah, I like their graphics cards. Just would never touch the power supply. Again, you can go any route. I prefer AMD and ATI if you picked that up from the last podcast. But Nvidia and Intel have very good products as well.
Absolutely.
Staying on the topic of questions about computers or gaming computers, we'll move on to the Hill 2240. You were asking us about buying a pre-built rig from Alienware, the Aurora R3. I went on the site, checked the computer out. Do you remember the list price didn't start at 1,800?
Right around there, yeah.
So 1,800. You got like for how much you're getting 1,800, that rig you could build for like literally $500 or $600. It was
absolutely.
Not to say that Alienware doesn't make good products. They make very thoroughly built machines and parts that work well with each other. For that money you're spending, you can go to other sources or other places to buy a computer. If you're located in America or you're close to or you have a friend that can get products from America shipped to their house, I'd say go to iPower.com, ibuypower.com. So IBUY power.com. For like 1,800, I found a computer that was probably 3 or 4 times as fast as the Aurora R3 base model.
And we were just talking before the podcast just how awesome some of their case paint jobs are. They're just ridiculously cool.
Personally, sure, Alienware does have some pretty cool looking cases. They're very unique to Alienware. They have that Alienware look, but I like the look of other cases, and they had some really cool, like totally different colors, like green and blues and reds and whites, and I thought the white case looked awesome actually. If you're in Canada, you can order this, or if you live by Toronto, it's really easy, or other locations of their stores is ncix.com. They have some really, really well priced for like $1,800. You're getting a very powerful computer with a more powerful processor, a better GPU, if not dual GPUs for the same price that Alienware is doing. That's personally my recommendation.
And also, on the note of ncix.com, you can actually save a little bit of money and just buy it as a kit if you want. And you don't actually have to get them to put it together for you. And that's a little bit safer for shipping as well. So you can get all the parts separately.
Yeah, you can do that. But that's why I mentioned if you're near Toronto,
just go to the NCX store.
Yeah, the NCX store. You can order. I think you can order it from their stores, and they'll build it there.
Absolutely, yeah.
Which
you don't have to deal with shipping
awesome.
at all.
You know, I'm kind of on the other fence of that. Is I'd get someone to build your first computer. I would have unless you've had a computer like a Dell or an HP, a pre-built one, and you've been switching out parts, and you're gonna do it.
Yep.
There's key features that you don't want to like fry your motherboard or not do the right power management.
Exactly, yeah.
That's a little scary, but if you've been playing around with computers and this is your first one being built or buying, then sure, go for it with the parts way.
I mean, there's so many things that you can just stupid little things that you can screw up. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I've seen videos on YouTube where a kid's building a computer and he forgets to put heatsink compound on his processor.
Yeah, not to say that you would. I'm thinking more of like when you actually put in the motherboard, you put the. I might say I'm dumb right now. I forget what they're called. You put these little these risers just so it doesn't touch the back of the plate.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking
about.
It'll short it out.
Yeah, short it out. Yeah. Or even yourself just not like grounding yourself. You could the little like the littlest static electricity could fry your
absolutely.
motherboard.
Especially if you're touching your processor or whatever. You know.
Yeah. So, and like NCX only charges you, I think it's $35 to get it pre-built through them, which is honestly, if you check local PC stores, they'll cost you double that, if not triple that, to put your computer together.
I think they might charge you like an extra $20 or something like that for cable management, though.
I didn't look that much into it. I just saw at the bottom, let us build it for you.
Yeah, they're extremely competitively priced. That's for sure.
And even if you're in Canada and you check company or local websites, like if you go to Newegg, NCX, Direct Canada, NCX is the only one that'll have a price match. They won't let their prices be beat. I've seen a couple cases because I bought a lot of stuff from them where they say it's below cost, and it makes sense because people are just having clearances or blowouts on certain items.
Yeah,
but most of the time they're very good about it. And like I said, if you want the best bang for your buck, if you're looking for the best gaming rig, I'd say iBuyPower NCX. If you're looking for the, I guess, biggest showcase in the room, I'd say go for an Alienware.
Yeah, I mean, Alienware is untouchable in the gaming laptop market, but desktop, personally, I don't think it makes sense. The amount of money you're paying for what you're getting, there's no doubt they overcharge you. That's for sure.
Yeah. And for how much they're charging you, man, I'll give you my phone number. Call me. I'll build that. I'll take the $1,000 profit they're getting off you.
No, I know. And we definitely, you can't badmouth a lot of local computer stores as well. So if you have a computer store in your area that has a good reputation,
check them out.
Absolutely. Just go in, show them the specs of the Alienware. Say you're looking for something similar, but you've had people tell you that that's extremely overpriced, and I'm sure they'll hook you up. If you have anybody that knows anything about computers, bring them with you, just in case you don't want to get screwed over.
Yeah. And Hill, if you really want to.
The Hill 2240.
If you really want to, comment us again. Tell us what games you're looking to play for, and you know what? If you need some help, we'll answer back another question of like what specs you should be looking at, or what site or specific model on one of these sites you should be going for.
Yeah, absolutely.
No problem doing that. And then,
or maybe your location or something.
Yeah,
like that.
Like if that's possible, then we'll even give you the model from NCX or iBuyPower or even Alienware, and then you can go check out your local PC store with the facts right in there on the sheet and just take it to them saying, how much could you build this for?
That sounds good. All right. That's all for the questions for this week. So as always, guys, I am your host, Feltzer, also known as LeafFan89 on YouTube, and my co-host,
Kool-Aid Man.
We're going to stick with that, eh? All right.
Yeah.
And also, as always, leave your questions and comments down below. We'll do our best to answer every question. As you can see, there was just 4 questions this week. I'm sure we could handle a lot more. And like we said, the questions don't just have to be about Diablo 3.
No, they could be about anything. Anything at all, even what games are our favorites.
If your girlfriend broke up with you or something like that, you can even ask us. What would be a good
if you're
idea?
In a dilemma. And if anyone has problems with the levels or anything, just let us know. You don't have to get all crazy. We'll do our best to fix it. Like, this is new equipment to us, and we're going to keep...
Yeah, it's trial and error, really. I mean, we have no way to know how it turned out until we actually get it posted on YouTube, because obviously it's going to change with the quality that you're streaming it at, obviously.
And if you want to let us know, tell us if it's too high or too low. We'll, again, try to fix the levels for you.
And the pop filter should have helped a lot.
Hopefully.
The previous issues.
If not, we'll buy another and set them on top of each other.
Yeah, I'm going to put one behind my microphone, too.
Until we get enough to have no more pop.
All right, as always, guys, keep gaming.